Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Farmyard Care. If you have ever stepped into your coop at first light, expecting that lively chorus of clucks and scratching feet, only to be met by an unsettling silence, then you already know the feeling I'm talking about. It is that heavy moment when your heart drops before your mind can even catch up. One hen that looked strong yesterday is suddenly standing off by herself, feathers puffed, eyes dull, energy gone. Or maybe it is your new batch of baby chicks, those tiny bundles of hope you spent your hard-earned money on, now huddled together looking weak, cold, and far too quiet. If you raise chickens in a backyard, on a small homestead, or on a working family farm, this hits hard. And if you are the kind of person who counts every bag of feed, cleans every waterer by hand, checks the nest boxes before breakfast, and worries over every little change in your flock, then this message is for you. Because when sickness shows up, it does not just threaten your birds. It steals your confidence, your time, your sleep, and very often, your profit too. Diseases like Newcastle and coccidiosis can move fast, and in just a matter of days, a healthy-looking flock can turn into a painful lesson no farmer ever forgets. But here is the question that changed the way I think about flock health. What if the real secret to stronger, healthier chickens is not just something you buy in a bottle, a syringe, or a packet from the store? What if some of the most effective protection starts with the old-fashioned wisdom generations of practical farmers have relied on for years? From traditional communities in Pennsylvania to hardworking homesteaders in East Africa, many people have passed down a natural system of strengthening birds from the inside out, long before modern farming forgot how powerful simple daily practices could be. And that is exactly what we are getting into today. Not one magic ingredient, not one miracle trick, but a complete, practical system built from natural remedies, smart routines, and the right environment, all working together to help your chickens stay strong before disease ever gets a chance to take hold. So if you want healthier birds, fewer losses, and more confidence every time you walk into your coop, make sure you subscribe to Farmyard Care right now. Because in this video, we are diving into the 7 pillars of this powerful natural remedy system. Part 1, the core shield, the magic of garlic and ginger. Now that we have laid the foundation, let's move into the absolute backbone of this natural protection system, garlic and ginger. In many traditional farming communities, garlic has long been treated with deep respect, and some even call it God's penicillin for a reason. But we are not talking about sprinkling a little garlic powder into the feed and hoping for the best. We are talking about turning fresh ingredients into a strong, fermented tonic that works on a much deeper level. The moment you crush fresh garlic, it begins releasing allicin, the compound that gives garlic much of its powerful reputation. Allicin is widely valued for helping fight harmful bacteria, fungi, and other unwanted microbes, while ginger brings in its own strength through gingerols, which are known for supporting the body against inflammation, helping clear the respiratory tract, and improving circulation. Put those two together, and you have the start of a serious natural defense for your flock. And the best part is this remedy is simple to make and does not cost a fortune. Take 1 kilogram of fresh, roughly crushed garlic and 1 kilogram of unpeeled crushed ginger. Place both into a clean 5-liter plastic container. Then add 500 grams of raw honey or molasses, followed by 3 liters of clean, warm water. Seal the container, but leave a tiny hole so it can breathe. Then place it in a dark corner and allow it to ferment for 14 to 21 days. By the 3rd week, you will notice bubbling and a strong, sharp smell. That is exactly what you want. It means the lactic acid bacteria are active, multiplying, and transforming that mixture into something far more powerful than the raw ingredients alone. What you end up with is a fermented tonic that many farmers value for its probiotic, antibacterial, and natural immune-supporting qualities. For adult birds, use 10 milliliters of this liquid in every liter of drinking water twice a week. Farmers who stay consistent with this routine often say they notice fewer losses, stronger birds, better laying performance, and fewer health-related expenses. And once you see how simple this first step is, you begin to understand that some of the most useful answers for flock health may have been sitting in the kitchen all along. Part 2. The reconstructive foundation, aloe vera and turmeric. If garlic and ginger work like the sword in this system, then the next step works like the shield. Now we turn to one of the most underrated plants on a farm or in a garden, aloe vera. A lot of keepers wait until birds are already sick before taking action, but the real secret is to strengthen the body before disease ever gets a chance to settle in. And one of the most important places to begin is the gut. That is especially true for chicks. Early losses often happen because the digestive system is still immature and vulnerable to infections such as E. coli and salmonella. Inside the thick leaves of aloe vera is a clear gel filled with dozens of active compounds, but one of the most talked about is ace-mannan. This natural compound is valued not only for helping control harmful microbes, but also for feeding beneficial gut bacteria, supporting the intestinal lining, and helping young birds build a stronger internal defense. Many farmers also appreciate aloe vera because it supports overall immune development while birds are still fragile. Now, when you combine aloe vera with turmeric, the effect becomes even more interesting. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of the best-known natural compounds for helping the body handle inflammation and internal stress. Fast-growing birds, especially broilers, can face heavy oxidative stress as they develop, and that strain can slowly wear them down. Turmeric helps counter that pressure, while aloe vera helps carry and support those active compounds so the birds can make better use of them. The mixture itself is very easy to prepare. Take 1 part fresh turmeric and 3 parts fresh aloe vera gel, making sure to avoid the bitter yellow sap close to the skin. Blend them together with a little water until smooth. Then add 15 milliliters, about 2 tablespoons, of that mixture to each liter of drinking water. Used properly, this combination can help support the gut against serious intestinal stress, while also improving how birds absorb nutrients from what they eat. And that kind of improvement is something you can often see with your own eyes. Cleaner droppings, brighter feathers, steadier growth, and birds that simply look stronger from the inside out. And with the gut and immune foundation now in place, we are ready to move into the next line of defense. Part 3. The respiratory defenders, oregano and thyme. Now that we have strengthened the gut and internal foundation, we need to talk about another problem that can move through a coop quietly and quickly, especially when the weather shifts: respiratory trouble. Any experienced chicken keeper knows that a light sneeze, a faint rattle in the breathing, or a change in the sound of the flock should never be ignored. Those small warning signs often show up before a bigger problem does, which is why this is the moment to act early and act wisely. And in many natural systems, 2 of the most trusted plants for that job are oregano and thyme. Oregano has earned a serious reputation among livestock keepers, and for good reason. Even larger poultry operations have taken interest in it because of compounds like carvacrol, which is widely studied for its ability to help control harmful microbes. Thyme brings its own strength through thymol, another well-known plant compound valued for supporting the respiratory system and helping create a less friendly environment for unwanted bacteria. Together, these 2 herbs form a powerful natural pair, especially when the seasons change and birds become more vulnerable. That is also why oregano continues to attract scientific interest. Some research has looked at oregano compounds as a way to support chick immunity very early in life, even before hatch. That tells you just how highly regarded this plant has become in natural poultry care. For a backyard flock, when the air turns colder or you begin hearing that first suspicious sneeze, many keepers add 1 milliliter of food-grade oregano essential oil and 1 milliliter of thyme essential oil to 3 liters of drinking water. Another simple option is to make a strong herbal tea by steeping fresh oregano sprigs in boiling water, then cooling it fully before adding it to the waterers. Used thoughtfully, these herbs can support clearer airways and give your birds extra help without leaving chemical residue in the eggs or requiring a withdrawal period. And if oregano is not already growing somewhere in your garden, this may be the perfect reason to start. The Gut Guardian, raw apple cider vinegar. Once the respiratory side is covered, we come to a homestead classic that many people have heard about, but not everyone fully understands. Apple cider vinegar. Not the clear, processed kind sitting on a bright supermarket shelf, but raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar that still contains what people call the mother. If you have ever looked closely at a good bottle, you have seen that cloudy, web-like material resting near the bottom. That is not a flaw. That is the living culture, rich with beneficial bacteria that make this remedy so valuable in natural flock care. When a hen's digestive system is out of balance, everything else starts slipping. Nutrients are not absorbed properly, eggshells can become weak, yolks lose their richness, and the bird's overall resistance begins to fall. That is why this simple addition matters more than many keepers realize. By mixing just 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar into a gallon of water 2 to 3 times a week, you create a slightly more acidic environment in the digestive tract, and that can make a real difference. That mild acidity helps create tougher conditions for harmful bacteria, certain pathogens, and even some internal parasites, while making the gut more supportive for beneficial microbes. At the same time, many farmers find that it helps cut through internal mucus, supports cleaner digestion, and improves calcium use, which can mean stronger eggshells and better overall flock condition. It is one of those old-fashioned remedies that remains popular because it is simple, affordable, and easy to work into a routine. But there is one important rule every chicken keeper should remember. Never put apple cider vinegar into a metal waterer. The acid can react with the metal and create conditions you do not want anywhere near your birds. Always use plastic or ceramic instead. And with that gut support firmly in place, we are ready to move into the next part of the natural system. Part 5, the quiet circulatory tonic, onion and living greens. Now let's move into pillar number 5. And this one tends to catch people off guard because it is not talked about nearly enough in modern poultry care. We spend so much time thinking about bacteria, parasites, invisible illness that we sometimes forget another part of flock health that matters just as much. Circulation, cellular recovery, and the quality of what is flowing through the body every single day. And that is where red onion and living greens quietly earn their place. Red onion may seem simple, but it carries real value in a natural support system. It contains quercetin, a plant compound well known for its antioxidant properties, and many experienced keepers appreciate it for helping the body deal with inflammation, while also supporting the liver as it processes and clears waste. This becomes especially useful during molting, when a hen is using a huge amount of energy and nutrients to replace feathers and recover her strength at the same time. During that season, birds are often more drained than they look. That is why some farmers like to use red onion as a small but timely boost. Every 2 weeks, finely chop half of a medium red onion and mix it into the feed. It works like a gentle system refresh, something simple that supports the bird without making the routine complicated. But red onion works even better when you pair it with something every thriving flock needs more of: fresh, living greens. A hen living only on dry commercial pellets may get by, but getting by is not the same as truly thriving. Fresh grass, spinach, weeds, and tender garden trimmings bring chlorophyll, trace minerals, and raw plant enzymes into the diet. And those are the kinds of living nutrients that help power a stronger immune system and better overall condition. In many flocks, you can even read the health of the diet through the egg yolk itself. A pale yellow yolk often tells you the bird is missing that richer, natural nutrition, while a deep golden orange yolk is often a sign that she is getting more of what her body is asking for. Hang a bundle of fresh greens in the coop each morning, and over time you may notice brighter birds, better color, and a flock that simply carries itself with more life. Part 6. The external shield. Dust baths and parasite control. And once nutrition and internal support are in place, we need to turn outward, because no natural health system is complete without addressing what is happening on the outside of the bird. If you have ever watched a healthy hen find a dry patch of ground, settle down into it, and throw dust over herself with complete focus, then you have already seen one of the smartest natural defenses chickens have. She is not just relaxing, she is carrying out an instinctive ritual that helps protect her from some of the most draining enemies in any flock: mites, lice, and fleas. This matters more than many people realize. You can give your chickens the finest garlic tonic, the best aloe vera mix, and all the greens in the world, but if they are carrying a burden of external parasites, their bodies are working overtime every day just to cope with the stress. They rest poorly, they eat less efficiently, and their energy is constantly being pulled away from growth, laying, and immunity. Then when sickness finally comes around, they have very little strength left in reserve. That is why this system needs an external shield, not just internal remedies. Give your flock a proper dust bathing area of their own. A shallow container or a dry corner of the run works well when filled with a blend of fine soil, construction sand, and wood ash. And if you have access to it, many keepers also add a layer of diatomaceous earth. This natural mineral powder is valued because it helps damage the outer layer of parasites physically, which means bugs do not adapt to it the way they often do with repeated chemical treatments. The beauty of a dust bath is that chickens know exactly when they need it. They will use it on their own, and when they do, they are helping themselves stay cleaner, calmer, and more comfortable. A bird that is free from constant parasite stress sleeps better, eats better, and holds on to the energy it needs to maintain a strong immune system. And that brings us naturally to the final pillar, the one that ties everything together. Part 7. The Amish Prevention Principle: Sunlight and Stress Management. And now we come to the final pillar, the one that holds all the others together. Because no matter how good your herbs are, no matter how carefully you mix your tonics, and no matter how strong your natural routine may be, it will all fall short if you ignore one simple truth. Stress is the crack in a chicken's armor. In many traditional farming communities, including the Amish, there has long been an understanding that prevention begins with the condition of the bird's daily life. A calm chicken is far more likely to be a healthy chicken. Chronic stress changes everything. Overcrowding, poor airflow, aggressive flock dynamics, constant noise, or a coop that never truly feels safe can push a bird into survival mode day after day. And when that happens, the body diverts its energy away from growth, recovery, and immunity. A stressed bird may eat, drink, and move around, but internally it is operating at a disadvantage long before clear signs of illness appear. So how do we correct that? First, we give birds one of the most valuable and most overlooked medicines on any farm: sunlight. Chickens do best when they receive 2 to 3 hours of direct morning sun each day. That natural light supports vitamin D production, and that matters for immune strength, bone development, and proper calcium use. Just as importantly, birds raised with regular access to natural light tend to be calmer, more balanced, and less aggressive toward one another. Second, make clean water a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Every morning, scrub the waterers and remove that slimy film before it builds into a problem. A stiff brush and a little vinegar go a long way. Fresh, clear water is not a luxury for a flock. It is one of the foundations of health. And finally, return to one of the oldest skills a good farmer can develop: daily observation. Spend 5 or 10 quiet minutes each morning just watching your birds. Notice how they walk, how they sound, how they hold themselves, and how they interact with the rest of the flock. Once you truly know your birds, you will catch the one hanging back, the one moving slower, the one with that slight tail drop or unusual stillness. And in chicken keeping, those early signs often make the difference between a bird you help in time and a bird you lose. Conclusion: your new hourly, daily, and weekly routine. So there it is, the full natural remedy system laid out from beginning to end. And the more years I spend around animals, gardens, and working homesteads, the more convinced I become that raising healthy chickens is never just about production. It is about stewardship. These birds live according to the environment, nutrition, and routines we give them. And when we do that job well, they often reward us with strength, resilience, and consistency. And when you step back and look at everything we covered, the routine is not nearly as complicated as it sounds. On Mondays and Thursdays, you can add the garlic and ginger ferment to the drinking water. On Wednesdays, give them raw apple cider vinegar at 1 tablespoon per gallon. Every morning, offer fresh, living greens and make sure the water is clean and clear. On Saturdays, refresh the sand and wood ash in the dust bath so they can keep external parasites in check. On Sundays, turn over the bedding and keep the coop dry, fresh, and low in ammonia. Then every couple of weeks, give them that extra support from chopped red onion or the aloe vera and turmeric blend. This is not a system built on expensive imported products or complicated routines that only work on paper. It is built on consistency, observation, and care. The farmers who discovered these practices did not do it by chasing trends. They learned by paying attention to nature, by watching their animals closely, and by working with the rhythms of the land instead of fighting against them. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 pillars are you going to put into practice first in your own coop? Tell me in the comments below, because I read them all, and I always enjoy hearing how people in different places are improving the health of their flocks in simple, practical ways. If this video helped you, please hit the like button so more farmers and backyard chicken keepers can find it. Share it with someone who loves raising chickens. And don't forget to subscribe to Farmyard Care for more grounded, natural, and experience-based farming wisdom. Take good care of your animals, and they will give so much back to you. Keep farming naturally, stay curious, and I will see you in the next video.